Hi everyone, and welcome to our first video on Club 100. I'm Oscar's dad. I've just decided I'm going to try and do these voiceovers. It's a bit nerve-wracking because I've never done anything like this before, but we're going to give it a crack and see how it comes out. Anyway, so this is round 1 of the Junior Super Lightweights category of Club 100. The first race took place last weekend over April the 13th up at Glan y Gors at GYG Karting in North Wales. This was Oscar's very first taste of junior Rotax karting. His only outdoor experience in his first 18 months of karting has came at Daytona Tamworth. We did an Easter and a summer holidays session down there throughout 2024, and then this year, since January, we've took part in 4 rounds so far of the Junior In-Kart Championships using much slower Sodi karts. So this session that you're about to watch now at Club 100 is a very first for Oscar. I stood there nervously watching from the sidelines as he's hitting up to around about 60 miles an hour. You know, opening brain doesn't come off the track, so it's a brand new experience for both of us. So we're not expecting Oscar to sort of start picking up podium positions and trophies and silverware and so on throughout the season. It's more of a case of trying not to finish last, learn as we go along, learn how the karts work, learn more about outdoor karting, and try and progress throughout the season. I suppose next year then, throughout 2026, you know, as long as we're still doing this, we might be able to push on a bit further and then maybe start making some challenges for silverware, for 8 finals and so on, see how we go. So enjoy the video. I will just quickly add, in the qualifying session there was quite a nasty bump where another karter spun out in front of Oscar. He was doing around about 30 to 40 miles an hour at the point of impact. He bounced off a cart, spun out onto the grass, but his racing gear, his neck brace, etc. all did the job. So absolutely no injuries, nothing at all. He just jumped back in his cart, got back on the track and carried on racing like nothing had happened, as you can see on the screen now. So I'll shut up now and let you enjoy the video. So we were a couple of laps in now. We're still learning this track after 2 11-minute stints yesterday. So we're just trying to find the right lines through the corners, braking points, and potentially defending and overtaking spots as well. we're still early into the video, I'd just like to add that Oscar is one of only 4, as far as we're aware, super lightweights here, out of a group of 54, that has no previous junior Rotax experience. So he's definitely got his work cut out. Not a lot happened over the next couple of laps, so we've skipped forward here to a point where Oscar drops a few positions. It's all a learning experience and it'll help Brett to prepare him for the racing ahead. Yeah, so a couple of karts took the inside line off Oscar there, and he's learnt that if you put a couple of wheels on the grass, you're not coming back. One of the rules here for juniors is that once you come off the track, you have to get out your kart, push it off the grass back onto the tarmac, and then safely rejoin the race. And as we were just saying about putting 2 wheels onto the grass. Yeah, so unfortunately the practice session came to an end shortly afterwards. There was an incident on track where another driver sustained what looked like quite a bad injury. The ambulance was called out, and all we can do really is wish the other driver a speedy recovery, but we're not too sure who it was. So the end of the practice session, what we were looking at was basically just trying to continue improving on our fastest lap times from the 2 11-minute stints the day before. Oscar did that, he knocked a couple more tenths off again, so we know we're progressing, we're getting faster. We look to continue doing that because the next session is qualification, and obviously the more tenths we can knock off, the higher we're going to finish up the grid. The times from this practice session are on screen now. So, weight limits. Now that we're going into competitive karting, Oscar's in the super lightweight category, and that's got a minimum of 60 kgs to be able to compete. Now that means 60 kgs with your race gear and your seat insert. You can go in at 65 kg, 70 kg, but obviously the more weight you're carrying, the more that's going to slow you down throughout the duration of the race. So you want to get as close as you can to 60 kg. So Oscar's body weight with all his race gear on was 54 kg. So we decided to add 7, which took him up to 61, as you can see here, 61.4. That gives a little bit of leeway if he loses some weight while he's out on track, because as soon as he comes off track it'll be measured again, and if he weighs in underneath 60 kg then his race won't count. So we're going in at 61.4.
Don't look and spin in the grass, please.
So here we go then, the final super lightweight qualifying session of the day, and then after that we will have 4 more qualifying sessions for our lightweights, lightweight cadets, lightweight juniors, A and B for each of them. And I think, I'm trying to remember who we're going to see in this session. Benji Hamilton I think will be in this, Jamie Tyler Gooden, Don Balasaitis, 3 drivers who were in the top 5 of the championship. And I'm trying to remember now who it was who had the fastest time from the A qualifying session, because they were absolutely rapid, and it's really annoying me that their name has already slipped my mind.
Well, I know where you can check that. That'll be on the lovely new Alpha Timing website, which has just had a bit of a makeover, so that if you want to follow along with our live timing at results.alphatiming.co.uk/club100, you will see a lovely new webpage. It has some improvements. You get a bit of weather information on there as well, some fancy new graphics, and a bit of a lap analysis for our laps that the drivers are posting as well. So definitely go and give that a look if you want to have a bit more insight as to what is going on throughout the grid. Of course, we'll do our best to give you some verbal information as we start our next 9-minute qualifying session.
It was Lewis Tracy.
Ah, yes, of course it was.
So our 9-minute qualifying session, as you mentioned, is underway.
Yeah, so as I explained at the start of the video, there was a bit of a crash in the qualifier, and this was it. There was absolutely nothing Oscar could do then to avoid the collision. The other karter spun out basically directly ahead of him over the brow of the hill, and just glad to say he's perfectly fine. As I explained earlier, the neck brace, his racing helmet, rib protector, everything protected him. So no issues, we learn from it, we carry on. Unfortunately though, our camera did slip down during the collision, meaning that the rest of the footage from this session isn't really worth watching. So let's just get straight on to the results from this session and to where we stand on going into the pre-finals. So that was a frustrating way in the end for the qualifier to go with the crash. But Oscar still managed to knock another 2/10 off his best laps prior to this race. And the good news about that is that he's catching up with the leaders. Nobody had so far got past a 49.9, whereas each race Oscar's had has been getting closer and closer to their times. So we know we're progressing nicely. We now move on to the pre-B final. Oscar starting P22 out of 29 races.
Our Junior Super Lightweight North pre-B final.
Here we go then, looking on to our juniors sat in the pit lane, waiting to go racing. And let's have a look at our grids then for our drivers in this pre-B final. On the first row of the grid, it will be Callum Wood, Finley Hanna, and then we have Dana Rowan and Leo Lemenko. Then we have Jack Yates and Ruben Gardner. Moving on to row 4, Jack Bailey, William Harvey, row 5, George Reed and Paige Martin, row 6, Ella Rowe and James McLaughlin. Moving on to row 7, Ollie Moore, Leo Anderson, Tyler Nickelbine and Gabrielle Damatia, Andrea Bihari of the Stater, and then Christopher Yakinov. Moving on to row 10, it will be Kai Tibbets, Harvey Preen, Hayden Graham and Oscar Mallet, Anthony Jarnecki, and then we have Bruce Clark, our 12th row of the grid. Our final karter set, it will be Clara Boyce, William Taylor, Jacob Rattray, Jolan Wilcoxon and then Noah Morris of 29 karts for this race.
We mentioned it before, but full grids here for the Club 100 Cadet and Junior North season opener. It is absolutely packed here at Glan y Gors, and it is a really nice day as well for racing. The sun's kind of gone in, it's a little bit cooler, maybe not as nice if you're spectating, but as a driver, having slightly lower temperatures is just enough to keep you nice and cool, not overheating. Pace cart's going to pull off to the side. No, we're going to get another lap while we wait for everyone to get into position, and you can see that there's a couple of cars trying to get into the right places. So I think maybe it's second and fourth who are missing because they aren't really in normal double file at the moment.
No, yeah, so this is an opportunity for us to get our grid all formed up and ready to go racing. Sometimes it can just take a lap or two if a car is out of position, or maybe perhaps there's been an issue with getting a car underway, something like that. We'll just have to go around again. We've got a little cut through though here at GYG, so it does shorten the lap, so we don't need to go around the full 1.1 kilometres.
We've got a few cut-throughs. The circuit used to be much smaller, and then they built on the extension. So there's a point going up turn 1 where you could just turn right and go on a back straight, which leads to pretty much the end of the compressions, and that used to be the old circuit layout. I kind of want to do that at some point, maybe.
Well, I've certainly seen people attempt it in the past in other events where they accidentally do it. That has happened once or twice before, as we see all of our karts behind the pace cart now heading round that final corner. Still under yellows here. Does the pace car go away? Yes, it does.
And here we go then, ready to go racing. The 34 then on pole of Callum Wood is a decent start. Able to slot right in behind on the run up the hill. Now this is now going to get his head down, try to
heading down through the compression.
seemed only Oscar was awake there at the end to take the short route through to the pits. But yeah, what an absolutely brilliant first race that was for Oscar. He's made 4 positions, couldn't quite find a way past Chris Yakimov ahead in kart 11 in the end. And kart 70, Harvey Preen, who did overtake him on about the last lap, turned out he had a maximum of 6 points, 6 position penalty. So he was demoted from P18 down to P24, which meant that Oscar finished in P18. Absolutely cracking race. More to come of the battle between Oscar and Chris Yakimov in the B final. So that's coming up next. On screen now are the results from this race, and Oscar's got another new personal best of 50.8.
So here we go then, the Junior Super Lightweight North B Final. Our final B Final. Actually, no, it's not the final B Final because we've got our lightweights as well. William Harvey on pole, Jack Yates in second. Then it's Leo Anderson and Leo Belimenko. Tyler Nicholbine in 5th, ahead of James McLaughlin in 6th. Then it's Jack Bailey, Paige Martin, Ollie Ward, George Dugoy, and Ruben Gardiner and Ella Rowe in 12th place. Kai Timmins and Gabriel Di Mattia ahead of Chris Yakimov, Oscar Mallet, Caden Graham and Findlay Hanna in 18th. Then is Andrea Brahari Mustiata, Jacob Rattray, Chris Clark, Harvey Preen, William Taylor and Noah Morris in 24th. Clara Boyce, Anthony Sarnetsky and Yolund Wilcoxon will complete our field.
Will indeed. A big grid for our Junior North B final here at GYG for the Super Lightweights.
I think there's too many words. It's just JSL NBF.
JSL NBF, there we go. As we see them heading
Rolls off the tongue.
behind the pace kart. I was just telling you in the brief break there, Yusuf, there's been so much action. My voice is giving up
Well,
now.
it is kind of my fault because you solo commentated for 5 minutes
I
and I could
think it's
hear
that.
it. It was fantastic.
It's 3 rounds of GYG. It's 3 rounds of GYG action over the past couple of weeks. I think that is doing it in, but the pace car is going to dive away. Harvey versus Jack Yates into the first quarter.
A good start from that front row of the grid. They are still 1 and 2 as they head up the hill. Oh, never mind. Oh, we got 2 cuts off onto the grass. One of them is the 38, which is Ollie Ward.
Ollie Ward there having a bit of an off as we continue on down through the carousel.
Oh, 2 cuts spun around. Very, very late send up the inside and synchronized spinning. Well, it's not quite the Olympics just yet, Reeve.
P13 out of 27 in the B final. Fantastic result for the weekend for Oscar. In each session he managed to improve on his own personal lap times. He was put under some severe pressure, which he coped with well. He lost a few positions, he gained a few. He had one warning for track limits, but got absolutely no penalties at all. And we now move on to the next stage of Club 100 at PF International on May the 26th with more experience. So hopefully without a practice day for that round, Oscar can just go out there on the Sunday and do the business. Oh dude, you're epic. Did you enjoy that one? It's another good one. Well done. P13. So he made up some really good. Woo. Yeah, so we've just finished Club 100, Glan y Gors, round 1, Northern Championships. Absolutely epic weekend. Lap times alone, Oscar's improved in every session, except for the B final where we finished, because that was just a battle all the way through, which was brilliant to watch. But his kart craft out there, considering it's the first time in a junior Rotax kart, was, you know, epic. You proud of yourself, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, should be. Yeah, we qualified for the B final and started in P19 in there, finished P16, so made up 3 spaces, and that was out of 27, so you got 11 people behind you. I was shattered when we done this video at the end of the weekend. Oscar started the B final in P16 and finished in P13. He had 14 people behind him, so as I carried on to say, he done absolutely amazing. He completely smashed it. Considering he was one of 5 people that has never raced Club 100 before, and one of them at least has done Rotax driving in another championships, puts Oscar in basically the 4 most inexperienced super lightweight juniors that were here. And to finish with 11 people behind him after the weekend, what can I say? He's obviously beat people with more experience, so we've got no complaints. It's been absolutely epic the whole weekend, as the karting quality has been fantastic. You know, the cleanliness, etc. No nasty dive bombs, none of what we experienced recently at Birmingham Team Sports from another driver who I won't name. Yeah, it's been a really good weekend, hasn't it? Learning experience and the speed and everything that Oscar's never experienced before. So to be able to come away, you know, finishing pretty much mid-pack in the B final, we can't complain with that at all. We've got 4 more rounds to come now. Next is PFI. We've got Wilton Mill. Wilton Mill, PFI and Rye House, that's right, yeah.
You already said PFI.
Did I already say PFI? That's because I'm old. Yeah, I'm old, I'm tired. It's been quite a long weekend, to be honest, and it's been stressful standing there on the sidelines filming him and watching him going round. Worried to death that he's going to come off the track. But yeah, it's been absolutely epic. Can't wait for the next rounds. We've got more Daytonas to come between. Yeah, lots more karting to come. We're enjoying the journey. Cheers for watching, guys. Thumbs up, dude. Thumbs up. Yeah.